Hey guys, Levi Gates here for Liquid Elements USA, and today we are at the Essen Motor Show 2025. We got the booth all set up, and we're going to show you all kinds of new, exciting things that Liquid Elements is going to be bringing to the US market. But first, we got to go check out the show because it's pretty insane. Yeah, so this is my first time at EMS. I've heard some things about it. I only learned about the show a couple years ago, but I'm really excited to see everything that they have so far. Just in the little hints and peeks that I've gotten to see yesterday when I got here early. This is looking like a pretty fun, exciting show that if you're a car person, you know, that's how I was. I grew up in it. I mean, this is pretty rad, right? Let's go look at some stuff. So I love this body style of Celica. This is a car, my dad had one of these, and then he also had a Mark III Supra. And so this body style is pretty spectacular, and one of those that I've always just had an affinity about. It might be the 10-year-old, 11-year-old kid in me, but I always thought these were pretty rad. See, this is more me, the old lowrider, right? You go, when you've got a 76 Oldsmobile tattooed on your arm, you know, you kind of have to enjoy something as fun as this. Old school lowrider, hydraulics, candy paint, a really cool pattern job on the paint itself, a lot of flake, a lot of hours of sanding, a lot of hours of polishing, a lot of hours of taping to get this pattern created, which is what a lot of people don't realize is these are some of the best and coolest paint jobs ever. Even if they're a little, maybe not your taste, you can't deny the number of hours that people put into these. 635s, this is probably my favorite body style of BMW. My uncle has an Alpina clone of this style, and it's one of my favorites. I always loved it. His was white with a red interior. I always thought this was the prettiest car ever made, quite possibly in the history of cars. So one of the cool things about Essen Motor Show is this tuning experience. Many of the cars here are similar like what we see at the trade shows in the US, like SEMA, where some of the cars are in a booth and they maybe got built by the company specifically for that show. But sometimes there's a lot of privately owned vehicles, but it's hard to tell when you're walking around SEMA if that's was built for that booth or if it was, you know, part of the show or if it's owned by somebody. But here, all these vehicles that are in the tuning experience are all privately owned, which means each one of these was built by the person that owns this vehicle, which is a really cool thing. And they're grouped together more similar to like the hot rod show circuits in the US. So you've got a lot of cool custom builds and cars and various types and styles. I mean, we've got a GTR here, we got a 924 Porsche, we got a Golf, a Mark I Golf. We've got, I don't know what that is. It's pretty cool though. But you've got all these different styles, which I think is the neatest thing that they are just incorporating, right? We saw the 78 Monte Carlo, there's a Helinor, and then like I said, a 924 and a Mark I. I mean, that's just super cool. There's also some crazy exotics, and then there's Teslas, and then there's, you know, there's an old Mercedes on that side. There's a 63 Impala over there. So a lot of cool, fun stuff. And I think that's what's kind of neat is seeing this is a car enthusiast kind of dream show to wander through because of the fact that you have so many unique styles. And that's one of the coolest things. And it's all mixed around. So there's something for everybody here. I'm amazed at how much American vehicles there are, because you would normally typically think, oh, this is a Euro show, right? No, there's Japanese and there's some Korean stuff and there's some American stuff. And that's really cool. So I'm just drinking it all, soaking it all in. I would want that in my garage. I don't know what it is. I just love old Mercedes like that. I think they look so cool. But what's cool is, like we said, we've got all the cars on either side. We're gonna go down and see some more. But then on the opposite side, you've got booths. So we've got some companies, some tuning companies, pretty much everything that you can think of. I mean, here's Ram Air, Kosh Chemi, Miltech, GE Boogle, Audison. So a lot of really cool companies. There's some drink companies here, which is even more amazing. And some clothing companies for car culture, which is super rad. So that's a cool setup. So here you're kind of blending that lowrider style by doing the two-tone with the top all done in the metallic. I think that's super cool and a neat touch. Baby moons, I mean, that thing looks rad. Yeah, I'm just amazed. 66 Impala convertible sitting here. Super Sport 327, dropped with some US mags with some baby white walls. This thing's rad. I love, this is one of my favorite body styles, 66, 67, 68 Impalas are some of the coolest cars I think ever made. I love the taillights, I love the way they look. This is like, man, that's after my own heart. Guys, this is crazy. There's so many cars here. There's another Monty. Like, this is amazing. Like, if you guys haven't come, you should probably plan a trip. I mean, what is it? Right after Thanksgiving, it's perfect time. Come on down to Essen, hit the motor show, grab a hotel, come for a couple days. This show's 10 days long, I believe. It's a long show, so you've got plenty of time. Come in for a couple days, maybe go to Euro Disney. You know, you do something while you're in Europe. Hit the Christmas markets. There's a lot of fun stuff to do while you're here in Germany. But this is a cool show, and this is one that I'm amazed by. I mean, you got some hot rods, you got some vans. I mean, what more do you need, right? The God level, you don't see Audi Quattros anymore in the US. It's become extremely rare to find old school Quattro coupes in the US. So I think I've seen like 5 so far, which is a pretty good sign. But these are a fun car. Like I said, it's rare to see those. So for me, this is exciting to run into something like that.
So is there a difference between US tuning and European tuning?
No, the styles are pretty much the same. I mean, you're always going to have different looks and wheels. You know, a lot of people, it just depends on their personal style. I'm a kid that grew up hot rodding and grew up with big blocks and trucks and doing kind of that style. I'm more a fan of patina, where it's the original paint and then having it cleared over. I love that look. I think it's gorgeous. Because it's been weathered by time. And to me, being a detailer, I either like it super flashy and glossy like a lowrider, or I like it more dusty, dirty, grody, but then shiny because it's cleared over. So there are different folks that like different stuff. I've got friends that are heavy into, they love exotics and tuning exotics. I've got other friends that love building out custom BMWs and lowering them, and those are their cars that they like to build. And I've got friends that love Japanese cars, and they are OEM plus style builders. That's just what they like. And so what I love about the car scene in general, and what makes it being a detailer and being able to touch cars and feel cars and make them shiny, is you can take whatever somebody wants to build, their dream, and you can amplify it being a detailer. And you can amplify that and bring out more beauty, more gloss, and more excitement, I think, for some of these people, when they can actually feel like they can look at their car and go, wow, that thing looks beautiful. And that's part of the fun, right? So I think it's a kind of a neat thing to check out and be a part of. And I'm just thankful I get to be a part of it. You know, as a little kid, I used to draw cars. I drew them like crazy. That was actually what I wanted to be when I grew up. But getting to be able to work on cars, touch cars, draw cars, you get to feel everything is different. Some people see them and they go, oh, that's a car, that's a car, that's a car. The body styles and the shapes are so different, and that's what's so cool. That's one of the things I love about Liquid Elements. It's not just a polisher, it's an actual work of art. It's a sculpture. And that's one of the cool things. It reminds me of working on a car, because they're all so different. So yeah, so this is the end of Hall 5. We are gonna go look into some of the other halls. Up front here is the Galleria. They've got like a car walk, like a fashion walk, right? So it's going to be a bunch of different cars they've got. I got them lined up for later so people can be in the stands, see some of the cool stuff that's available, some of the neat, different, again, unique body styles, which again is super cool.
This car is tuning a racing car, the beautiful car.
Yeah, so here we're going that way.
This is the end, huh? 5, 6?
Yeah, this goes 5, 6, 7, 8.
2 or 3.
So Galleria to 2, so maybe this way over. We'll see. Just go wander around. We might get lost, but that's the fun part. So this is kind of fun. Looks like the Galleria here, they've got a bunch of little trade shops with lanyards, t-shirts, Hot Wheels, more clothing, which I'm really amazed by. That's something you don't see at SEMA, are actual like clothing brands dedicated to car culture, which you would think would be more popular because it is, but you don't see it. So, the old standby Armor All. We don't say that word around. I'm just kidding. So I'm sure these hulls are broken up into certain classes, but I haven't seen that. What I have seen is just every hull has a mix of stuff. So this hull, we're gonna figure out what it's about. We'll see. I think it's got these words, ADAC. We'll see what that is.
We say ADAC.
ADAC. So based on logos and stuff, this looks like some lubricants and some track stuff. Looks like some shocks. So it's BBS, twin bush lifts. So yeah, a lot of shop parts, accessories. There's some video games. The simulators, that's the word. But a couple race cars. This is like their Auto Mechanica booth here at the Essen Motor Show. This is pretty rad. Same with the twin bush. We had a twin bush lift in Boise, in the shop. They're a good brand. So I love watching Dakar. And so to see some of this stuff here, like in the flesh, is pretty rad, because you never see that stuff in America. No, well, because we do different stuff. We got King of Hammers, we got rock crawlers, we got sand cars, rail cars and stuff. And so you don't get to see the actual machines that do Dakar like this up close. It's rare, very rare. Mostly because they're all overseas. Like they're here. Like this is still one of the coolest machines ever, this giant truck. I love those. I love watching them run. We got guys that do Baja. We got guys that do all the races down in Mexico. Like we see that stuff, but you don't get to actually see these rigs, the European rigs that are running Dakar here in the flesh, which I think is so insane. So cool to see. It was fun growing up as a kid because my dad would tell me stories about these trucks at Dakar and watching them, like, you know, run around corners and hitting huge dunes. And so as a kid growing up, it was always fun to see. So it's kind of fun to see them in real life.
Do you have any manual?
So, well, I was born and raised, I'm a Chevy kid. So Chevrolet. I have Cadillac tattooed on my knuckles.
Oh wow.
I have a Cadillac tattoo. I have an Oldsmobile tattoo. So I've owned Oldsmobiles, Lincolns, Cadillacs, Chevrolets. I'm a Hyundai nerd. I have an Ioniq 5. But before that I had an Elantra. And so I like cars in general. My dad collects old Chevy trucks. But for me, mostly it's a lot of old Chevys. And then I like old Chevy trucks. But like I said, I love some of those old Mercedes, old BMWs. I love the look and style. There's a Maybach that's very rare concept car. So I get to see a lot of that kind of stuff, which is really cool. So, but as a favorite, like ultimate, I don't really have one. I just like cars. We're gonna go try and find another hall. We're gonna go see what's in the others. This is obviously in the main center of the hall. You've got your BBS. You've also got the Mercedes fan world. So you've got a lot of different variations of fancy Mercedes that, you know, you saw earlier in the Maybach, which is kind of cool. And then racing suits, eBay Motors is here. So just sign up some fun stuff that you can, again, just anything and everything that is car related. No, hey, oh, here's my car. It's a little more, mine's not as hot rodded as this, but it's no slouch. So I was close with the Jada team in the US. that make this stuff. And so they do a lot of the cars. So I have a little car collection at home of the Jada stuff. They're always getting one of the Fast and Furious cars. So this is a Tokyo Drift one. It's a veil-sided Mazda RX-7. All right, let's go to Hall 1 and see what's going on over there. Or if you need, there's a purple transporter over there. How you doing?
Hey,
good to see you.
Wir reden.
Ja, immer gerne. Ja, hau rein.
Hi.
I'm just walking around, enjoying myself, checking out the show.
Liquid Elements.
That's the new company I'm with.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Sexy.
How you been?
Good.
Good.
Doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
You have a booth here or something?
Yeah, so they're in Hall 6
6?
at the very back. So that's where we're at. And so I'm now in charge of North America for Liquid Elements. So
I follow you, I stalk you.
yeah, I bet you do. Yeah, I follow you and stalk you as well. So, all right, buddy. See you, man. So that crazy guy, Michael Altoff, owns Yellow Tools, which manufactures sign-making tools, as well as vinyl wrapping and little detail tools as well, which is really neat. And they manufacture everything. He's actually got a book called The Lean Deal, and it's all about lean manufacturing processes. So that guy's a legend. Yeah, this is a pretty good haul. A lot of fun stuff, very different. It is kind of fun to go through all these different hauls. You see a lot of different stuff, right? Notice that, Nico? It's like, you still get some gems, right? Then you get some normal daily driver stuff that they've probably been running them ragged, right? They drive them, they use them. And then there's just really cool stuff like handmade pickups. Easy. Not too bad. We're figuring our way around. We got it now.
Plan here.
Yeah. Now we can do this. All right, so Hall 6 still has a ton of stuff. I think this is really probably Hall 6 and 5 are really where it's at for the show, which is pretty rad. There's a T-Rex right here. You better watch out. There's a tank literally right here. That's what I'm saying. That's what's so cool. Not often you see a tank just sitting here at a car show.
You want to sit on the tank?
I don't think I should sit on. I see there is a lady inside the tank. They're doing some recruiting. They've got some fun stuff. That's pretty cool. I'd love to see that happening where I live, because that's kind of a fun thing. So here you've got some of the bigger brands again, Bilstein, H&R, Warbet. So some of the bigger name brands here. That's kind of cool. That's really cool to see, you know, especially growing out of this. Another beauty of a BMW right there, but a four-door version of a 5 Series. There's a lot of Mustangs here. That's kind of fun. Mustang tuners. Oops, excuse me. My first car was my 1976 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme that I have tattooed on my arm. Literally, I paid $350 for it. Bought it from my uncle who had the Alpina, and drove the snot out of it till the motor blew up. Then tried to do a motor swap, couldn't get the funds, couldn't do everything. I was a broke teenager at the time. So they took it for scrap. So I sold it to a scrapyard and crushed it. So at least I know nobody would be driving around in my car, right? I had it demolished, so we're good. So because of that, I tattooed it on my arm. One thing that I would care the most.
Yeah.
So I'm a nerd, but for me, it's tires. You can have a crappy car, but you put a brand new set of tires on it and it'll ride nice, right? And it'll feel better to drive. I will say you want to make sure the wheels are working, you want to make your suspension components proper and all that stuff, but tires are kind of the one thing that I look for the most when I'm have a car, or I bought a car, or I'm driving one of my cars. I always try to make sure I have nice tires on the vehicle because it goes a lot better. It's a little trick my dad taught me where when we would detail a car, you would make sure that the air pressure is proper on all 4 tires because it drives better. And then people associate cleanliness with their car driving better. So it's one of those little old school tips my dad taught me. But tires, if you have good tires, you're always safe. I live in a snowy area, so I always got to make sure I have good traction on my vehicles, that my cars are safe to drive in the snow, so that I can take my family around. So that's one thing I like, is seeing what type of tires are on cars. It's just a weird thing. Someday I want to get my son into karting. I think it's a cool little way to get kids started in the sport. I've got friends that have done it for years. I have one friend that grew up in it, and that was kind of his thing. And I've got a friend back home who's got his son in it, and he loves it. So karting in the US is a big thing to get kids started into motorsports, and it's really the only entry into motorsports. But I will say, we're in the last hall. We made it here. We probably should go back, check out and see what Liquid Elements is doing, see how the booth is. Now that more people are starting to get in, you can see we got more crowds of people here. We should go check in and see what we're gonna be bringing to the US so that folks can see what we got going on there. But let's go, Nico.
Okay, I'm running and action.
All right, so we made it through all the halls. We hit all 8 of them. We stopped into every single one, ran into some friends, ran into some people that we knew. Hopefully you got to see a little bit of what the Essen Motor Show is about. And here at the Liquid Elements booth, there's people. We got traffic, we got folks coming and checking out to see what's new, what's exciting, what do we got going on here at Liquid Elements. And what's fun is you guys at home at Liquid Elements USA have only seen a small fraction, right? You've only seen a few of our polishers. You've only seen a few items that we have. You know, we just released compounds, polishes, pads, towels. But what you don't know is we've got a ton more product offerings, different tools, different equipment, stuff that is going to be coming to the US that you can see firsthand here at the Essen Motor Show. All right, let's check out some of the machines we got. As you guys know, in the US, we're running the A800, the A1000. We've got the T4200 and the A4500 Pro. That is what has been released so far. You know, we've sold out of a few things, but I wanted to show you some of the extra product line of what we've got available. So here, the A4500 Pro. Like I said, we couldn't keep these things in stock. They sold out so fast. But what you've got here, 15 millimeter, 5-inch pad, running the new 21 volt battery system. This monster can put down some power. Then we've got the T4500 Pro corded. I actually have one of these in the US. It's a German model, so I have to run a converter on it. But this is going to be coming to the US sometime after possibly first or second quarter of 2026. And this is a corded 4500 Pro. This is going to probably become the new holy grail polisher for detailers. The T2 Terminator, this is one that the old school purists have been asking for. Extremely lightweight, rotary, that puts down some power and feels really good in the hands. We're gonna try and smuggle a couple of these into the country just to, you know, maybe send out to some friends that can sling some polish. Then the T5200, which is the 21 millimeter 6-inch backing plate size polisher. Again, corded. This is going to be the next level entry. So we've got the T4200 that's been selling great. People love it. We're going to bring in the 21 as well so that folks have that option. They want to step up into a bigger machine, they can. This, again, true workhorse, developed and designed to be just absolutely reliable and unstoppable of a machine. Then, of course, our number one seller, the T4200, 15 millimeter machine with the 5-inch backing plate. This thing has been kicking butt all over the world. This is a unique tool, the T3200. The 32 is neat because it can interchange between a 3-inch and 5-inch backing plate. This one also, I believe, has a 10 millimeter throw, which is perfect for any type of job. This is a very versatile machine and one that we're talking about bringing as well, just because of its versatility and the ability to change out the different backing plates. And here's that T3200 again with the 5-inch backing plate on it. Again, a 10 millimeter tool, great for finish sanding or polishing. and then a T2000 corded, running the 3-inch backing plate, and the A1000. We also have a T2000 that is, or A2000 is coming out with the bigger battery. It's prototyping right now, but the A1000, it's a 1-inch backing plate. This has been a hot seller so much that we don't have these in stock anymore. But we're hopefully going to be having more coming the first of the year. We also have the A800. These are the newest addition to our lineup, and these are great little detail purpose tools. And what we kind of did at Liquid Elements USA is we wanted to bring in some heavy hitters, right? So we brought in the 15, so the T4200. Then we brought in the cordless 15, the 4500 Pro. And then we have the A1000s, which sold very quickly because people like the ability to come in and get a machine that could do some light, final, easy work, as well as these A800s because they're fine detail stuff. So reality, you can polish an entire car with a 15mm tool and then get into your finer spots with some of these cool additional features. Now, that's not all of it, right? These guys make everything and anything. So we have brush sets, we have applicators, we got coatings, we've got all kinds of stuff that's going to be coming. You follow down the rest of the line here, and this is the chemical line. Look at all this stuff. Fun colors, fun things, fun stuff, soaps, sealants, interior cleaners, glass cleaners, all kinds of stuff that we have here that is going to be coming to the US. So you guys are going to have some really fun products to be able to utilize. Not only that, but also what we have is our towel lineups. And you guys know me, I'm a microfiber guy. That's how I cut my chops, or got my stars, so to speak. So we've got a ton of great microfiber products here that we can talk about, that everyone's going to be able to see and utilize. We have a lot of these things. The Blackpool drying towel is one of the big ones. A lot of these towels are going to be perfect for every type of use that you need. But as you can see, this is it, right? Look at all this cool stuff. All the way down into the Smello bombs, which is a great little feature. We started giving out those when we were at SEMA. We handed out a few of those to folks so that they could add them to their windshield washer fluid. That's a concentrate, super unique, something that not a lot of people have seen in the US or utilized. So that's another thing that we're gonna be bringing in. Dang it. Already starting to lose my voice as we're talking here, but again, Liquid Elements, I mean, this is a good looking booth and a cool setup. So I'm just excited to be able to bring all of this to the US and finally get it into your hands as a detailer and as a user of some really cool products. So as always, guys, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more right here at the Liquid Elements USA channel.